Y'all watch Star Trek.
Andy
Griffith. Two of those.
Spaghetti and the
Oh,
Gomer.
yeah, spaghetti.
Gomer was first.
Gomer
Not
Spaghetti.
Gomer. Was it Gomer?
No, it was the Darlings.
The Darlings. That's what it was.
Darlings.
What's his name? Not Gomer. Is it Gomer? No, it's
Gomer Darling?
no.
Goober.
Goober, not Gomer. I was
It's
gonna say
Goober. It's Goober.
Yeah.
Goober
I was
was
like
in the color one.
Gomer.
Goober was in the color one.
Hmm.
The other one, Ernest C. Bass.
Ernest T.
T.
Bass.
Bass.
That's
Bass
right.
was in
Uh-huh.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we watched the Bugs Bunny.
Oh, yeah, we did. We watched,
And then, or no, it was Twilight Zone, then Bugs Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
Twilight Zone and Bugs Bunny
Mm-hmm.
Then Andy Griffith again.
again, and then Twilight Zone again.
Then Twilight Zone again.
I know it's a pattern.
Was that it?
Yeah.
What was the second Twilight Zone? The first Twilight Zone was the alien, right? The Martian?
Yes,
Yeah.
the bus where they were in the diner.
Bus. That
The
was a
second
good
one was
Second one
probably the
is
most iconic one. And
The
it
2000
was
feet.
Oh, yeah, with
Yes,
William
Terror.
Shatner.
Terror.
Fuzzy man on the wing.
Yeah, Terror 20,000 feet.
Yes.
There's a man on the wing of the plane.
Now, that one was, they redid that one. Do y'all remember when they came out with a latter version of.
I know they had one like, was it like the late 80s or early 90s where it
Yes.
was all in
Yeah.
color?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of
was
those. They're
very
not bad.
They're not.
Okay, so what it is that's a movie that has 3 Twilight Zones in it.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Is
one
it?
that really scared me as a kid.
Yes.
'Cause they
the
have
one that
a-
George thought was a good idea to show a
They have
10-year-old
a,
baby.
Right.
Exactly.
There's a
Dan Aykroyd was in the
Horrifying.
opening.
Tales from the
Yes.
Crypt Keeper. They have Tales from the Crypt Keeper like that as well.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, yes.
The one that has
So
Dan
it's like a
Aykroyd
movie, but
at
it's
the
3
beginning.
different
Yeah.
stories.
And he's driving the ambulance, and he said, "You want to see the scariest?"
You want to see something scary?
Hey, you want to see something really scary?
You bet.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
scariest thing
The very,
in the world, or
the
something
very
like
first
that.
one was that.
Mhm.
And then the second one was the guy that like is being transported through time. He's in Vietnam at one point.
Yes.
I remember that one as well.
Yeah.
But I didn't remember the remake of Nightmare at 20,000 feet.
I haven't seen that. I didn't know there was a
No.
remake.
It's really good. It's good because it has, what's that guy's name?
Was William Shatner not in that one?
No. It was the guy that was in Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh yes, yes.
Alec Baldwin?
Not Alec Baldwin.
Tracy Seymour?
Third
Not
Rock.
Tracy Moore. Not 30 Rock.
Third Rock from the Sun.
You pulled
What
it.
is his name?
I remember. I know what you're talking about. I never watched that show.
Not
Dick.
Not John Favreau. But his name was like John. John Lithgow.
Lithgow.
I knew it was
Lithgow.
John right.
Tina Fey was a very close, good guess.
I tried.
So John Lithgow
Mhm.
was in the remake.
Mm.
And
I'd
he did a
forgotten
great job.
Yeah.
He did a really good job. I mean, I still remember it.
Great
I
actor.
still remember it not looking at the monster for how scary it was. I was a very scared child.
Of the remake or the original one?
The remake. I hadn't watched the original Twilight
That
Zone.
original one got me when I was. I made it watch it when I was real little. I was probably about 10 the first time I watched Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Probably.
I
Twilight
would've
Zone
been-
is still scary.
I would have
They
been,
are.
I would've
Oh,
been
yeah,
12 or 13.
they are.
I was probably 12 or 13. Because they just put them all on Netflix. And that's when we,
Mhm.
that's whenever all 5 of us, whenever we still lived at the old house,
Uh-huh.
we all would watch Star Trek, original Star Trek series,
Uh-huh.
I Dream of Jeannie, stuff like that. We'd all watch
Yeah.
all those.
They were all great.
Yeah.
Still are.
They
They're
are.
timeless. That was
They
really
are
are.
still really good.
That's timeless
Twilight
television.
Zones do a
right
good job of that. Now, I feel like the more technology Twilight Zones you get into,
Yeah.
the more
there. They lose something.
They
Well, it's
waver.
like it's just kind of like it just
I have a
it
specific
captures
one.
that period of Americana.
it does.
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, it totally does.
That's what I was thinking about the Brady Bunches and the Andy Griffith and all
Yeah.
that. The Andy Griffith, the black black and white Andy Griffith, is a piece of Americana that will never get back
No,
again.
you can't. There's no way to.
No.
If you tried to go back and do that, like
Couldn't
in that
recapture
style,
it.
it wouldn't because it's not genuine.
Right.
I think that's why it's so. It carries
Yeah,
so well because
that's
it was
the
so
way it
genuine. Like
was.
that's how life was.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I know personally for me, when I'm feeling like, because I'll tell Elisha sometimes, I'll say, "Oh, Angel, I just can't take it anymore. I'm gonna have to lay down and watch the Andy Griffith. I
Yeah.
gotta have a little Ange."
Yeah.
Just
Just
a little,
kind of-
like a little feel
Right.
good.
Yeah, a little. I've got to have
Yeah.
a little Ange to kind of to put things back into perspective
Yeah.
and make me feel good inside.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got to have something to kind of take away reality,
Yeah.
and that makes me feel better.
It is weird to think that, like, at the same time those were coming out, there was a horrific war going on also.
Right.
It's
It's so weird.
wild.
It's so weird to see all of that, and then have a goofy show about one of their dumb characters going off to the Marines,
Uh-huh.
and then during that time there were like many thousands of casualties in the Vietnamese jungle.
Well,
It's
well,
so
that was
weird.
the thing with like a lot of TV back then. Like it was,
Yeah.
it was just,
It's just
it was like slice of life. You know,
it's
just like
entertainment.
it was
It's just
what it was.
television. Yeah.
You know?
it's just entertainment television. Whereas now it seems like you really just can't escape what's happening because of how connected everything is.
Yeah.
And,
How
It's a
exposed.
small world.
yeah.
Yeah, how exposed everything is.
I blame
9/11. On September the 11th, enemies of freedom committed an act of war against our country.
Okay. You know what? You're right on a lot of levels.
No, I know I'm right, but on here it's just me yelling 9/11 at a camera. On Frame, it's a really good edit. You'll get it when you watch it later.
To be determined.
No, it's a good edit.
To be determined.
It's a good edit, believe me. Also, welcome back to the viewing party, episode 3. So we did end up watching 2 Twilight Zones, 2
Andy Griffith?
Griffiths, and then 1
Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes. Not one of the ones that came out in the 30s. It was 60s television night was the theme. The Abominable Snow Rabbit came out in 1960 or 1961.
That's one of the.
That
one of the
episode
best
was 1961.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Wow.
Pretty sure. Whereas if you go back, like the earliest one was like 1933,
Uh-huh.
1934.
I didn't realize they started that early.
Oh yeah. Batman comics began in 1939.
I knew that. I mean, you have
Yeah.
Action Comics.
And then Abbott and Costello was the 20s,
Mm-hmm.
or like
Well, you had Chaplin
the
before that
20s.
even, didn't you?
Charlie Chaplin's in the
Teens, 1900s?
19 teens,
Mid 1910s.
1910s. Yeah.
I would suppose.
Great War's going
Wow.
on. It is wild
Wow.
to think about all that. He did like 2 or 3 like Great War, goofy things about World War I happening. And they're really funny. You're like, oh, that's funny. But then like you see, I read the actual full report of the day almost at the end of every single day, and it's like 45,000 killed in one
Right.
one battle in the span of like 9-10 hours. It's really wild. But entertainment then was a great disconnect and a great relaxation for people. Because you watch Andy Griffith being in black and white or in color. Me and Mom are black and white purists.
No, I don't disagree. I'm the same way.
But
Well, these people also, you've got to remember, they had family that was in these wars and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And they didn't know where their loved ones were.
yeah,
You
so
know,
it
and
was
so
nice
that
for
was
them
the
to
way.
watch.
Oh, that gives me cold chills. Yeah, it does.
It was a
And
nice way for them to
Yeah.
watch a not serious thing, not
To
a
try
thing
and-
from real life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they didn't know it could be months, before they heard anything.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't call home back then like you can
No,
now.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know, if you're in Iran or
Afghanistan or wherever.
Afghanistan, anywhere,
Yeah. You can
you can call
even
home now,
then whenever it
Skype.
started, I was reading a thing recently about the whole
Mm.
how everything went down because there was since we're not on the radio, we can bring up Donald Trump barely. It was like Donald Trump saying mission accomplished whenever he sent the airstrike over Syria or whatever.
Yeah.
And how it echoed George Bush so very eerily about how he said mission accomplished after like a year and nothing changed. There were still thousands of people dead and nothing changed. I was reading something about that recently and like how the events went down. People don't remember them the way they went down. Like it was extremely sequential how all that stuff happened. It was like 9/11 happened. All right, we know this about it. All right, so we're going to invade Afghanistan and then invade Iraq or Iran and see if we can go get the Taliban and Al Qaeda. Because it was all of them at the exact same time, but it happened in such a particular order where it was extremely interesting. Whereas people seem to skim over some of the important stuff. They seem to skim over the important details. It was like, well, we invaded the Middle East, and then in 2011,
Highlight.
Well, say you
Highlight.
have to think of just
Yeah.
how long that lasted too. I mean, that was it's 10 years.
there was a 10-year period between 9/11 happening and then Mr. Batman, Osama bin Laden being killed.
Yeah.
And me and Andrew talked about that, like, because that happened, like, the anniversary of that
I
happening
think it was last week.
7 years.
sometime,
It was
if I
like
remember
last week, yeah. And me and him, well, like, we both still remember the exact what happened then, like the hour after it happened. Even though it was 2011 and the world was not as connected as it is now, like all that stuff still happened.
Yeah.
We remember exactly what happened. I remember the school report that I had to write for homeschool, for social studies. And like that day, like all I had to do was just that one thing, was just write a report about the entire operation when it all happened.
It was such a big deal.
It was such a big
It is.
deal.
It really
That
is.
happened like 10 years later or whatever. Anyway, Let's talk more about the television.
Back to fun television.
Back to the television
Back
that
to
we
fun
watched.
television.
We meant to watch one of my personal favorite TOS Star Trek episodes, the original series, Arena. And it's like the iconic one where Captain Kirk is fighting the Gorn, that big green monster, big green lizard, which scientists still say is a very accurate representation of what a lizard humanoid would look like and act like. What I think is hilarious, that it's just this guy in a green costume going, like that. But because he is a cold-blooded creature, he would be very slow, not very limber.
Mm-hmm.
Their communication would be very limited. It's extremely interesting to read that article also. But we meant to watch that, and we meant to watch the Beverly Hillbillies, and
I
also
love
Gilligan's
Beverly
Island.
Hillbillies.
But I couldn't find the download for Gilligan's Island. And
Don't forget, I've got the series on DVD. We
yeah,
can make that happen.
I should have just done that.
Mhm.
And then I meant to watch Beverly Hillbillies. But we didn't get started until like 7 because it was going to be dark until 7.
Cement Pond. I love that. That is so funny to me.
That's
Granny,
beautiful.
Granny's my favorite
Mhm.
on that show. She just cracks me.
That is very
When
funny.
she has her elixir,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. And steam like starts pouring out her ears. I love it. That's good stuff. That's good
Well,
stuff.
so what do we all
Yeah.
think of? What do we all think of the 5 things that we watched? The Star Trek Twilight Zone, and then the Looney Tunes.
I loved them. I
picked
loved them.
There's a reason why I picked the ones that stood out, were the best of the best of them.
You know what, too? The Looney Tunes, I love that one, too, because of the abominable snow rabbit.
Yeah.
That's fun because I think we were talking about that night, too. The reference that the rabbit, the abominable snow guy, makes to Of Mice and Men. You know how he gets in, I will stroke him, George, and I will rub his
and I will
fur.
pet him and I will love him. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a pretty big reference there to Of Mice and Men. 'Cause everybody, I guess, had to read. Have you ever read Of Mice and Men? You've
I did
never
that.
been required to.
I did the highlight for it,
Did the
just on my
highlight.
own list.
That's just that's a story of all times. Everybody's required to read that.
And so
at
everybody
some point in
then
their
probably
life.
would have gotten the reference,
Uh-huh.
which is another interesting reference. Whenever Daffy Duck calls Elmer Fudd the hunter, he calls him nice shot, Nimrod. People thought that meant a dumb idiot, whereas Nimrod was like a classically Greek. He was known for being an amazing hunter.
Yeah.
Right.
He was being sarcastic. People
Right.
thought he was Daffy Duck, or Bugs Bunny was just calling him an idiot for missing, and they did not know that it was a reference to a classical Greek hunter who was great at hunting.
Isn't that funny?
That is very funny.
It's so fun because
how
they're
it falls on.
It's like
deaf
you think
ears
of it as
sometimes.
such a
Yeah.
low brow, but it's actually got
It is
It's
extremely.
not.
quite a few, it's got quite a few things built into it.
Cartoons do a great job of that.
Mhm.
They do that a lot.
They really do.
It seems like.
Which I know a lot of people disagree with me on this one, but like SpongeBob. These
SpongeBob's
days,
great, yeah.
SpongeBob is fantastic, and
Yeah.
it's very cleverly written.
Yeah,
Of course,
like
that's
the
for
early,
today, you know.
yeah.
But
the early episodes.
it's lost on a lot of kids
It
because
is,
you know it's,
yeah.
it's an adult
I was
cartoon.
gonna say, there's quite a few.
Yeah, you watch the
There's
early,
some things in there.
you watch the early cartoons or the early season 1 particularly, because it was going to be like an Adult Swim show, and then they're like, "This is the stupidest thing we've ever heard." And then they went to Nickelodeon, and Nickelodeon said, "Make it child friendly, and we'll syndicate it. We'll do it." 1997, and so it actually aired in 1998. You know, they had the entire season done. I'm pretty sure.
And away we go.
No, this is the kind of stuff you hear at Dollywood, guys.
Julie was a good old man, he lived below the mill. Julie had 2 daughters and a 40-gallon still. One gal watched the boiler, the other watched the spout. And Mama corked the bottles when old Julie fetched them out.
Now look here, Mr. Bass. I'm the Justice of the Peace in Mayberry, and I married Charlene McDood. And I got a copy of the marriage certificate here to prove it.
You preaching?
No.
Well, then they ain't rightly married. I would have a chance to sweet talk and woo and charm her with my ways.
Take a shot at it, Sheriff. You gotta lead the right. Now, wait a minute, Mr. Starling. We can handle this without anybody getting hurt. Ernesty,
I hear you.
here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get Charlene and Dud married by a preacher.
Tomorrow being Sunday, the circuit preacher will be by.
Good. Then we'll have them married by a preacher tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Hey, that gives me 24 hours to court her.
Now you just hold on.
24 hours. I still got a chance.
Looks like Paxton.
I think I saw that guy at Walmart yesterday. I see that guy at Walmart every time. Yeah.
I am that guy at Walmart. And I'm your cashier.
Lord,
Sir
help
Steve
us
Bass
all.
is a strange and weird character. Just plain ornery is what he is.
I think he's a nut.
But there's some talk of the bridge going out up there. When you can, you better take a look and make sure she's posted and blocked off. Enough ice jammed against it to cool the Congo. Roger.
What?
I'm glad someone else thought that was me. Enough ice to cool the Congo. In Africa, it's hot down there.
Oh.
Classic knee slapper. Ah, Congo, hot.
What do about it? Something left that
That's how
pond.
cold it is up here. Anyway, talk to you guys later.
There's
Is
a
the screen
Martian in
brightness
the
all the way
diner.
up, Trevor?
Do what?
Do you know if the screen brightness is all the way up, or is that just...
I turned the screen brightness up earlier,
Okay.
but it just kind of made like the white parts brighter and the black parts.
There's not
kinda
much you can do about black and white
It's like
television.
bleach. It made the whites whiter. You see a brighter light bulb.
Is it two people making out in the back? It's them.
Julia already figured it out. Good job. Hi.
Am I right?
That's how babies are.
Oh. It's her.
How's it going, smooth skin?
That's mine, officer. What's the problem?
What's happening?
Bridge up ahead.
But anyway,
Anyway,
so Ange and them were fishing. It was all good.
yeah.
Garland's crossed the Robert E. Lee Bridge. I know I
The
aggravated.
natural, what is the natural, Robert E. Lee Natural Bridge?
Robert
or
E.
whatever it
Lee
is.
Natural Bridge.
And he's like,
They
well,
had
why
to
is it
come
called
down.
that? Because a tree fell across.
Yeah.
Is that really?
Natural,
Yeah, that's what he
Robert
said.
E. Lee
Like, what,
really?
Natural Bridge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's like, why is it called that? He's like, because a tree or whatever fell across the way.
Yeah.
That does
Barney,
bring up another
Barney
interesting-
couldn't remember. He couldn't remember. He says, Robert E. Lee Natural Bridge. I can't think of where that's at. And he said, oh, it's a tree that fell across the road. Or a tree that fell across the road.
Yeah.
I know I was aggravating Ethan because I was quoting the whole thing.
Oh, I thought it was hilarious. I loved it. Oh, that was great.
That one makes me cry.
I do love it, like, just in the middle of the show, like, and he's like, well, I guess if you're waiting, you got some instruments to play? He's like, you know, this one's a 5-string, and he's like, I play a 6, but I'm sure I can handle it. He's like, and a 1 minute 2, and a 1 minute 2. And they just like just start playing music. Oh, I love that. It just rolls right into
You
it.
got the old guy with the joke.
Yeah, you got Briscoe playing the jug.
Briscoe, darling.
Cut back to where me and you make the joke about Grundy County and how I heard banjo music as we entered Grundy County. Not a bit.
It really happens. You cross the
It
border.
really happened. No, it really happened.
You just hear a thing.
We heard a
They're
1.
very talented up there.
They are very talented.
Very talented
Heard a
musicians.
1 and a 2, 1 and 1 and a 2. and how the boys only talk whenever they sing.
Mm-hmm. The boys are all keyed up today.
They're all. Me, Andrew, and Trevor brought up like it would have been funny to keep some continuity if they didn't snore, if they were also silent during sleep. But it was better for comedy that they snored very loud.
I love that.
Yeah,
So funny.
that would be really funny.
It's so funny.
And of course, you wanted them to play dance to your stockings are hot and a rattling.
Oh, yes.
No, Paul, that makes me cry. I love that.
Did they replace what in the world is his name? The husband that was going to be his bride to be.
yeah, he played.
They replaced him with the guy
with Gilligan.
With Gilligan from Gilligan's Island. They replaced him later on in the series. Yeah. Which is why I wanted to do a Gilligan's Island episode also. That's why I was gonna try to tie them all together somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
There was gonna be like that episode first, then Gilligan's Island about space. Space would have gone to Twilight Zone. It would have been the one with the Martians, and then the Martians would have been on Arena. Then one would have gone from Arena to Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. Because
Nice.
Captain Kirk.
Nice
and then
segue.
Arena. It would have been a really good segue, but that's like exactly 5 hours of television.
Yeah.
And we just didn't have time.
Who's got that kind of time?
I don't have that kind of time. I'll make sure things start recording correctly. A 1 and a 2 and a 1. Everything's still going. Oh boy. What about, so the Twilight Zones were scary.
Those are my favorite. 'Cause I love Twilight.
I love the Twilight Zone.
One of my favorites.
I have like top 5. My favorite 5 are also Neil deGrasse Tyson's favorite top 5. The one, I can't think of the name of it, but it's the one where, in like a suburban neighborhood, there is like powers going out and they're all getting paranoid.
Oh, that one is good. And
That's
like,
one of his favorites also.
It's like the neighbors next door are the aliens, right?
No,
Is it the same one I'm thinking of?
so it ends up being that no one in the neighborhood are aliens. Everybody thought that their neighbor was an alien because of how paranoid sets in, how fear and delusion.
Because there's another one where it's like the 4 guys living next door.
Those 4 bikers, yeah.
And they're aliens.
Yeah.
And like the girl falls in love with one of them.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
that one is another one of his favorites. Another one of my favorites was the very first one.
Mm.
It's just so like, well, not the very first one, the second one. Second one where it's the guy's glasses break at the end of it.
Out of Time.
Out of Time. Yeah. That's the second
that's
one.
a great.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites.
That's just heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
All the time in the world, all the books in the world, and his glasses break.
I had all the time in the world.
I had so much time.
I would go to the other books.
But you think if you hold him like right up to his noggin, he could read.
Yeah, antisocial.
But you were talking. So you work at Dr. Rohn's office, optometry, and you said that those glasses would be extremely hard to break by just dropping them because of how thick they are.
Well, it's
for glass back then.
See, they used glass back then, where we used polycarbonate and different materials in. Back then, they were glass.
So they very likely could have shattered.
Very brittle.
Shattered. And plus, wasn't he on the steps of the library?
He was on
probably on
steps.
or marble or something. So those bad boys were gone.
Yeah.
And I mean, the chance of him picking up a shard enough to break. Yeah. His
Very
eyes, most
heartbreaking.
likely, he would have had cataracts at that age.
Yeah.
He was in bad shape.
over.
Yeah.
Another fun one, talking about technology. You see the Twilight Zone, and the one where this guy's on Mars colony or Moon, whatever it is. It's a prison, is what it is, and he gets sent. They found it was like illegal for them to be lonely, so they sent them like a robot girlfriend, and like they call it Robot because they didn't call it Robot.
I don't remember that.
It was in
Seems like
the
I
first
kind of
season.
do.
It was in the first season, and like
I mean, I know I've seen it because I've seen all of them. But.
yeah, the first season, and like the whole point of the episode was like, even though the thing's a robot and like he loves it dearly because it's been with him for like 3 or 4 years at this point, they have to take him back to Earth because his sentence is he's up. That's it. They found extra evidence and his sentence was over. But he couldn't bring the robot back with him, even though it was literally the love of his life. But it wasn't real, so it brought up like a very interesting question. Because we're getting to that point now where like there's AI and virtual reality and robot girlfriends. It's very interesting. I know they're trying to pass laws like that in Japan.
I too like the one. I like the one where they're on display at the zoo, the alien zoo.
Oh,
and
that's
it's
a good
set up
one.
like their cage is set up like a house, like a 50s house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
and they like slide up in the windows. There's people just like snapping pictures and stuff.
Yeah. Another one of my favorites is To Serve Man, which is a great one.
What's that one?
Because these like 7-8 foot tall aliens come to Earth and like basically tell the entire Earth.
This one, he's the big bald guy.
Yeah.
He wears the robe. And like the triangle that comes up.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can give you peace if you follow these steps in this book that we have here.
Don't they like speak, communicate like?
Yeah. So they speak with telepathy, and they tell everybody.
You never actually hear them. They're just like.
Yeah. At no point do they speak. Like they smile and then that's it. And like they're 8 feet tall. They're huge guys, and they basically give outlines to how to demilitarize and denuclearize the entire Earth, which then ends up being To Serve Man as a cookbook. To how to eat humans. And eat and conquer other species for food, which is extremely.
That is really good. I forgot about that one.
That one's really good. One of the neighborhoods. One
I still like the Adam and Eve one, where at the end, like he crash lands on a planet or whatever.
Which one was that?
And then there's a girl there.
Oh yeah.
And they end up being his name's Adam, and he's like, I'll call you Eve. or whatever.
Yeah, it's ironic.
You have to have a name.
I remember that. I'll call you Weave.
I can't remember.
Ironic how that works, isn't it? Like he does like say ironic or whatever he says, and then like a search ship actually just comes like, I can't leave.
Yeah,
that's another one of the good ones. There's another one where Samantha from Bewitched is the main, I guess, antagonist. Not necessarily the bad guy, but she's the antagonist in like this war-ridden city, and she's a female sniper, and this guy is a male scout. And like they meet each other, and like they try to kill each other at the beginning, but then they're like, we're the only people left in this city. The city's been destroyed by the war, and so they end up being together at the end of it. I don't think she says a single word through the entire episode.
I remember that one.
But it's also, I think, before Bewitched by a year or two.
Well, because Bewitched did start out in black and white.
And then it went to color.
Yeah.
Even though Star Trek started out in color. Because there were commercials. If I can find a commercial, insert a commercial here.
We'll frame it for you.
Alright, thank you. Welcome back to the commercial from that. No, it's a cut to. Welcome back to the commercial of that, of why you should buy a color television. For Star Trek, things are better in color. Or whatever the commercial says.
Yeah.
So they use Star Trek as a reason to buy a color television originally.
Wow.
Yeah, they made advertisements, and it's like if you
I did not know
if you have a
that.
color television, this program is in color, and doesn't it look great or something like that? I haven't seen the commercial in a long time.
That's cool.
Yes,
Who knows?
because of how colorful everything is in Star Trek.
Well, you know, on
Kind
Andy
of those
Griffith.
green aliens.
Yeah, the green makeup babies.
Well, you know, on Andy Griffith, they did the commercial, you know, at the end of it. And they was
Yeah,
like, oh,
that's right.
JFG coffee. Get you some JFG coffee.
That is weird how they used to just like integrate advertisements into that.
Well, it's like
'Cause
the
at end of
episodes were
Twilight
sponsored by.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it was like this tonight's episode sponsored by.
Oh,
Yeah.
I told you about
Or
the
brought to
comedy.
you by whatever.
I told you about the comedy cassette that
Teen Hot.
that was on last Wednesday. For the comedy cassette for the radio station, it was like this episode or whatever. It was like getting some of that Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. Like they did like a 5-minute thing. It was like smoother, like, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. And then whatever the other word is. Award winning in flavor, taste, or whatever it is. But it's funny how like that is before the actual Life O'Reilly. Before that program actually plays.
That's so cool.
That is. It is cool and also weird to see how things were. Because at the end of the Twilight Zone, both of them, it was Rod Serling saying, "This episode is brought to you by."
I would like that
whatever
so
cigarette."
much, but like if we just had the commercial at the beginning.
Well, YouTube is getting that way.
And then you just
where it's integrated in with some things.
You just had the they still have the commercials throughout though.
It depends on what it is. Well, I know Rooster Teeth in particular does at the very beginning. A lot of them do like this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is brought to you by Mack Weldon, Vincero Collective Watches, and whatever the heck else. And then they do a mid-roll at the very middle of the podcast, and at the end, like, again, this episode is brought to you by, and then that's it. So they're kind of doing that, as opposed to every 4 minutes is a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial ruined television. And Alton Brown said, he also said after 9/11 that reality television, people just wanted to be grounded again. They wanted the way things were again, and that reality television killed the television and entertainment industry. He said that he has such disdain and such a blight with reality television. And this is Alton Brown.
Alton Brown, the chef.
Yeah, the chef. The shelf. Alton
The
Brown.
shelf?
The chef.
The whole thing's so well. So strong, so limber.
Yeah, Alton Brown. He still does stuff. He's been in the business for like 20-something years, more than 20 years. And he said that even though he was on one of the biggest food shows, he said that was one of the things that killed entertainment for the United States, was reality television.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan either. It's like all you see now. So there's four of the biggest channels. History Channel, reality television. Discovery Channel, reality television. AMC, reality television. MTV. Used to be music. And cut to one of my favorite music videos. Used to be music. And now it's reality television. Not a fan. And then you watch things like this, actual craft and actual craft behind the artwork and actual things that you had to make back then, and you had to tell a story about it. Or if you didn't, in some of them, like what's it called? Leave It to Beaver. It's just a fun, goofy show.
Yeah, it's just a
where they don't have a message behind them.
Right.
That's why I also
well,
spread
they do.
message.
Like they do have a message, but you know, it's
not
more just.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's a lesson. Like it's a life lesson. It's like don't
or you
don't
just
cross
watch,
the street without looking. You know,
or you just watch the
stuff like that.
Or you just
you told a lie. And
like there's always a life lesson
do.
behind those.
Right.
And it's not too. I kind of do want to film this now for B-roll, where it's like an insert of you or Ethan, be like, and this is the part of like reality television. Ethan again with his stupid whatever he's talking about. This guy always eggs me on for nothing. and I was playing the like the dumb hip hop cool music. We're cool people. We need to film that afterwards now, just like real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just television does not exist like that anymore. And you watch movies from then also, like Akira Kurosawa. My favorite movies are Japanese 60s shows or 60s movies.
See, I like the Doris Day movies. Doris Day, Rock Hudson, Jerry Lewis, all that.
I grew up on Jerry Lewis.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm a very big fan of Jerry Lewis.
Or you watch one of the best ever, Planet of the Apes.
I love
What an incredible movie.
those are really good.
Back when they made.
Those
Back when they had feeling.
The second one. So funny. Anyway.
We need to watch them. But yeah, fun time, fun television.
Good stuff.
Soylent Green is still people.
I think it's one of the 80s ones. Soylent Green was like 81. We can watch that. If we do 80s movie night, there's no way to make it like, we'll have to watch 2 movies. But there's so many good movies. There's too many. Thanks for watching!
And now, a word from this program's sponsor.
Somewhere Liquors is located in the Plaza Shopping Center across from Citizens Tri-County Bank. Their address is 1100 Smithville Highway, Suite 137 in McMinnville, Tennessee. Their business hours are 8 to 10 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 11 on Friday and Saturday, and 10 to 6 on Sunday. Their phone number is area code 931-304-8222. They feature a walk-in beer cave and have a wide selection of bourbons, whiskeys, vodkas, tequilas, and more. McMinnville's first liquor store is Somewhere Liquors.